What do I always tell you guys? Use celebrities as your lesson. Do not be like them. Let them mess up in the public eye so that you don't make the same boo-boo mistake. This is so Saturn and Pisces and the South Node in Libra coded. Let me explain to you why. Herbo, he's a rapper, and it says that he can face up to 20 years in prison for pleading guilty. So he did it to fraud for allegedly using stolen identities to fund private jets, a Jamaican villa, and designer puppies, and then lying about it to the feds. I am not the right person to educate you on Herbo. Like, so many women and men are very obsessed with him. He's just one of those rappers on the roster that it's like rapper, girlfriend has the baby, like type of dynamics that so many adults are like very obsessed with. My ex-boyfriend was really obsessed with him, and I said that it sounds like Herbo's always chasing the bee and running away from it instead of running with it, and he didn't like that joke. But what I do know is that he was with Ari Fletcher. This was his girlfriend, who I think was like dating him as he came up to fame. Like, I think they were dating prior to him getting famous, which I always tell you ladies, don't do that. Don't ever be the girlfriend that's coming up with the boyfriend to fame unless you milk every moment of that and build your own platform, because you're gonna get left. That's not me being like bitter. Like, that's generally what's gonna happen unless you're Aisha Curry. Like, if you're the girl that's holding it down for your man who's like still a fucking loser and hasn't like made a name for himself yet, he's broke, all that, like, yes, you will go up with him because you're the emotional crutch of the support of getting there. Like, men need a little woman by their side in order to become successful, but then their ego gets to them, your existence reminds them of harsh times, and they're gonna get inflated up here and cheat on you or take advantage of you or not appreciate you, etc. And like, I'm saying that not from a place of you shouldn't enjoy it, but rather like, if you're gonna do that, have the plan B. Have your own fame in mind while you're like, yeah, babe, it sounds good. And then if worse comes to worse, the biggest lesson I tell you guys not to do is do not get pregnant, because that's how they're going to trap you. There's a big trope around women trapping men that are like successful. No, they are trapping you so they forever have access to you through a child, and they get to collect all these little women. Don't do it. Anyways, Herbo was with Ari and then cheated on her while she was pregnant. With Taina, I believe is the way that her name is pronounced. I've never heard it out loud. In my head, I read it as Taina, and because I'm literally dyslexic, I say Tiana in my head, but I believe it's Taina. And with the way the world and men works, we know that when he cheated on Ari, of course, it was like, oh my god, bro. Upgrade. Ari's fucking crazy. It's okay, though. I believe the story gets a little funnier. I think that he cheated on her, too. So, sorry. Again, I honestly shouldn't even be joking about this because I don't know all the details, but I think that people do say that he cheated on her. Literally with Ari again. But whatever. The South Node in Libra talks a lot about karma within relationships, relationship cycles, codependency, partnerships that are maybe reliant on, I shouldn't say like not love, because there's also toxicity within what we believe to be love, but also the fact that when you're in a relationship with somebody, there's trust, but then there's also transaction. Even if we like to say relationships are not transactional, they are. You're with somebody for a reason. And dependency, which can turn into codependency. So when we have the South Node go in Libra, like, everybody's relationships are now on the chopping block to be tested. But if you have Libra placements, it's going to be a little bit more direct and personal to you. And guess who has Libra placements, baby? Herbo, baby. He has a Libra 11th house. The 11th house has to do with support from other people, but also being in the public eye. We can attribute his fame, wealth, support from other people here. But the South Node is going to be going through his 11th house from now until January of 2025, which is essentially going to bring him a lot of karmic lessons, bringing the past, bringing his relationships, his reputation, his personality, his ego, his talent, news and announcements about him, and even like traumas and triggers to the surface in order to be confronted to close out karmic cycles instead of getting away with things that you typically get away with. And it's going to be heavily within relationships. South Node off the bat, fucking up his Venus. Venus is women, it's relationships, it's romance, it's attraction, it's things like temptation and infidelity as well when it's expressed in a way that's more problematic. So to have the South Node go over that, we're going to see things from the past. We're going to be seeing, you know, like secrets coming out, maybe people he slept with, cheating allegations, things that were private within relationships that should have been publicized. Then it's going to go over his natal North Node, which is actually his own like life purpose and what he's supposed to be focusing on. But having the South Node kind of shake him up there can be a heavy, like what he's going through now, wake up call of like, you need to get your shit together. The North Node is going through his 5th house, which is love, sex, romance, children, creativity. When you have the North Node go through there, you're supposed to be paying attention to your children. You're supposed to be respecting the people that you love, that you're romantically connected to. You're supposed to be diving into your creativity and working on your talent and doing what you do best. The South Node in Libra is like, stop looking at everybody else. Do what you need to do. Stop worrying about the next person. Stop worrying about the news. Stop worrying about the media, the shade room, whatever. Saturn is going through his 4th house of home and family. So it's doubling down on like stress in the private life, trouble in the home life, issues with the mother of his children, with his own kids, with even his living situation. And he's going to be having his Saturn return. Not quite yet next year, but he's like, you know, we're in the vicinity of his Saturn return because it's getting pretty close there. We're already in the same sign. Uranus, the planet of shock and unexpected changes and kind of like shit hitting the fan, shaking the table, is opposite Mars. Mars is the planet of action, assertion, aggression, how we go after the things that we want. It's combative energy. It's standing our ground. It's in his 12th house of secrets, hidden information, and lying. So when you have Uranus and Mars in an opposition and need for balance between the two, it's like crashing and burning. It is a dumpster fire. It is explosive, unexpected war between what has been being hidden in his everyday life. And the thing is too, celebrities don't have as much money as we think they do. So like, if you have to be doing all this crazy shit to keep yourself afloat financially, and that's not to say that like he's fucking broke if he doesn't sell designer puppies, is it? But like, I don't know, things like this just remind me, you never need to be embarrassed as a normal person with a normal job. Like, this shit is fucking embarrassing. And the headshot is giving toddler. I don't know why I'm so like, I honestly have nothing against this person. Like, I don't even listen to him. I think I do get really angry about, do not cheat on women when they're pregnant. Don't cheat on women, but don't cheat on them when they're pregnant. I'm getting pissed off. Back to the chart, Pluto is retrograde and opposite his vertex, which has a lot to do with just like fated things, but it's in the 8th house of like finances, things that are legal, government related things like taxes, fraud, banking systems, financial institutions, things like that. So when Pluto's direct, he might have like almost gotten caught before and gotten away with it, and now it's like, no, it's gonna happen for real this time. Like, he might have even gotten something that has told him before, like, stop. Or if the women around him knew about it, being like, stop. Or getting a legal threat telling him to stop and not stopping. Saturn through the 4th house is not easy. It can fuck up your living situation. It can make you literally homeless. It can make everybody close to you like turn on you and make you feel very, even if you're not physically alone, like mentally, psychologically alone. Saturn is literally the planet of like poverty, both literally financial poverty as well as like poverty of the mind and of the heart. So to have that in such a private area of his chart. And then Uranus fucking up what is the 12th house too, is isolation in terms of like prison or being in institutions, being isolated away from everybody in a cell. Again, literally like feeling very lonely and mentally very trapped, or metaphorically like physically being locked somewhere. Despite what happens, huge lesson for him right now to get his fucking shit together romantically, financially, and familially. Now, with this situation, we're never gonna know what's actually happened, what hasn't happened behind closed doors, whatever. Do not try to be the other bitch, the one that gets picked, the one that wins the man. If you think you won a man, you are losing at life. If you think that is winning something, you will reap the consequences later. Because this woman got cheated on pregnant and it was ha ha ha, somehow she's a loser. That was the general consensus. Just for this woman to win him, maybe temporarily, end up with 2 kids, unwed, got cheated on, maybe with the other baby mother, and is now financially dependent on somebody who's a fraudster, a scammer, and you're going down with them. Like, Please don't have children if you're an idiot, because they pay for it. And if you're lying, cheating, or stealing, Saturn's gonna whoop your ass. I can't.